Okay, good evening, everyone. Again, you're all welcome to today's class section. Mentor for today here is Amaka. You're welcome, Izzy. That's fine. Um, as we've all seen,
Thank
the
you.
class today is going to be introduction to the command line interface. If you have a question, please use the chat. If you want to say something I really need to say, you could raise your hand, and the speaker can just give you the chance to speak. Please try as much as possible not to interrupt class section, so we can have a smooth live stream and recording for every one person that'll be using the class. Thank you, guys. Okay, so Izzy, the floor is yours. Please, you could get started. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for the organizers of this program. It's nice to be here. Um, my name is Eze, and sorry, the room is dark, so that's why it seems like the light is turned off. I guess you guys understand. We're in Nigeria. I guess you'll understand that. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can hear
Can
you.
Okay. All right, no problem. Okay. Um, right away, let me just share my screen so we can proceed for today, for the topic of today. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see that.
All right. How about us? Please, if you can see my screen, just indicate. Use the what's it called, the message box, so I can know you're with me. All right. So like I said, the main topic for today is introduction to technical writing, introduction to command line interface. So I'll be walking through this class using this GitHub repo. Okay. So I don't know if you can follow along. You can, if you have your pen and paper, or you can jot. I would appreciate if you jot along the way, so we'll be on the same page. And if you have any questions as I'm talking, just simply use the chat box to drop your questions, and I'll try as much as I can to attend to all the questions. All right, so right away, if you're new into the tech industry, or you've been with the tech industry sometimes, you understand that you can't basically do without working with the command line interface. So to some point, at a point, that is where you get to in the tech industry, and you need to work with the command line interface. Okay, and basically we have two popular command line interface, which is the Windows command line and the share command, as it is for Linux and Mac OS. Okay, so through the course of this lecture, I'm going to tell you why you should learn command line interface, and I'll introduce to you the basic command line interface, and then I'll take you through a practical that will clone a repo on GitHub, and we navigate through the repo and how to create other files, delete files, and move files within the folders. Okay, so sorry, there's no slide for this course, but I will encourage you just follow through with me with this GitHub repo. Okay, is that fine?
Yeah, so can you share the GitHub repo so most of them can work with that?
Okay. Right, so that's the link on the chat box, so you can just follow up with the link. So while we're on the same page, I guess I can now proceed. Right?
Yeah, go ahead. Just go ahead.
All right. Like I said, the Windows has its own command shell, which is the CMD, the command line interface, and the Mac OS and the Linux has its own shell, which is the bash. Okay, but recently we have a file which is a git bash that can be used to run Linux commands on Windows. Let me show you. This is git bash. This is git bash. You can download the software if you want to use it. Okay, so The git bash allows you to run some of the Linux commands on Windows, and I will show you in this class how to run Linux command on Windows with using git bash. Okay, so some of the reason why you need to use the command line during your project for a project or during your stuff is because one, it increases speed, it helps you to navigate the file folder and the structures with the use of command line, which is faster than using the normal mouse and cursor, which can be a bit slow. Okay, and also it is easier to access remote servers because most of the servers that are being used are cloud-based. So using the command line interface allows you to easily access remote servers anywhere in the world. Okay, and additionally, having the command line to knowing how to use your command line is a great skill set to have as a programmer or as a technical writer. Okay, so basically, some of the basic command line you need to understand is this. If you're following the repo, can you see my screen? Please use the comment box to comment so I can know that you actually see my screen and you're following me. Okay, so basically, some of the command lines you need to know is this. Basically, in our system, we have the arrow up and the arrow down. So arrow up and arrow down. This shows you your previous command and your next command. Like if you've written some of the commands, if you use arrow up, it will bring out the previous command you've written. I'll still show you practically on how to do this. Then you can use the tab. This helps to give you autocomplete while you're typing out command or so many commands on your command line interface. Then you can also use the Control C. This will help you to exit the current command. Like if you're done with the command line interface and you want to shut down, you can use Control C. It will help you to. This will help to kill the current command. And Control D. This will close the command entirely. Okay, so you can also use exit to terminate the window command line. All right, then you can use help to get more functions. All right, so right away, let's just go into the practical so I show you what I mean. Like I said, on Windows, we'll be using the CMD. There is PowerShell and there is CMD. There's command line prompt, but I'll be using the command line prompt to show you this. And we also have the bash. This is the git bash. Sorry, I was actually working on something there. This is the git bash. So this is the git bash. Like I said, if you want to get the git bash, you can download git bash using this link here. I'll add the link to you to the text box, to the chat box. So in case you want to download the git bash, this is it. All right. So on the Windows, we have the command line prompt. This automatically comes with all Windows. So you don't need to download this. It comes with Windows. It's already a software that comes with Windows, that ships with Windows. We also have the PowerShell. This can also be used to write using only command in command to you advance and then over to the PowerShell. Then I'll also show you the git bash, how to write some of the Linux and the Mac commands on Windows. So you can compare both of them and see anyone that is easy for you to use. Most persons prefer writing Linux commands on Windows, so this git bash will give you that accessibility. And if you are compatible with Windows, then you can also go ahead with the command prompt. So at the course of this tutorial, I'll show you how to use both of them. All right, so let's walk through the repo and see how we're going to achieve all these things. First of all, I'll show you how to list 5 folders and 5 folders in the command line. So like I said, if you open the command line prompt, this is what you'll be greeted with. Additionally, if you have time, you can also open your command line prompt so you can walk along, so you can still be trying out some of the commands on your system. And if you have any difficulties, you can still post so you can be on the same page. So the first command you're going to check if you want to navigate through your 5 folders. So we're currently working with this place. Once you open your command line prompt, you'll be greeted with this. I am using Dell system, that's why you're using Dell. And basically, this is a Dell folder. So first of all, you have to navigate to the desktop before you know it. So to move down to the desktop, you use CD. Desktop. This C, what it simply means is change directory. So this helps you to change directory. Currently, we are inside the Dell, which is the user, the system user. So I want to change directory from the Dell to the desktop. So you use CD, desktop. This means change directory to desktop. So you click enter, and currently we are on the desktop mode there. This is desktop mode. So like I said, to list all the files, working with this one, to list all files and folders in the desktop directory, you use this command. On Windows, you use DER, which is directory, while on Mac or the bash, you use ls, which is list. So let's see how this works on Windows. You use the and these are all the files on the desktop computer. So we can confirm this by going to the desktop and see if it's actually correct. So we have Docker desktop. This is Docker desktop. We have index.html. This is index.html. We have Microsoft Edge. So you can basically see all the files on the desktop has been listed here. Okay, so let's try out this command online on the Mac on the Git bash and see how it works. Okay, like I said, on the Git, to change directory, we are currently under this user. So to change directly now to the desktop, you still on the Mac on the Git bash. It is different. It is quite different from the Linux. So to change directory, you change to desktop. Navigate to the desktop mode. Then to list all the files, not like on the Windows, you use it there. Over here on the bash, you use the ls. So the ls is going to list all the files on the desktop. These are the files on the desktop. So basically, the ones here, this other side are the folders, and the ones here, this other side are the what's called the files. Okay. So let me point something clear. ls, this only works on Git bash, and it does not work on the command line prompt. If you try ls here, you get an error. ls is not recognized as an internal or an external command. So likewise, that does not work on Git. Oh, the DAO works, which is perfect. I've not tried this before. This is nice. So you can still use the DAO, which works on Windows, also on the Git bash. So basically, this Git bash allows you to run some of the Windows command and some of the Mac and Linux command on this Git bash. So it's an external tool. This is not. It's not a preview tool. This is I think this is an open source tool, so you can still download it if you want to use it. If you're comfortable with it, you go with it. If you're comfortable with the Windows, you go with the Windows. So basically, this is how you list file directories on the particular folders and how you navigate through them. So let's move to see how to create files and folders using the command line. On the Windows and on the bash, to create a new folder, let's start with the command line. So at the desktop, so to create a new folder for this tutorial now, you use make directory. So let's say technical writing. So let's see if this has been created. That you see a folder here, technical writing. We have created a new folder here with it. So basically, creating a folder on the bash and on the command line is basically the same. It's still the same. Make the so let's see if that's created. So this is it. Make that one. There's it. This is it. The folder we just created now, which is this. Make the one. Here's it. Are we following? Okay, that's nice. All right, let's continue. Okay, so this is how to create folder. You use the make that to create mkdir to create a new folder. So basically, this is how it works. You use the make that and you type the name of the folder, and this is going to create a folder for you. And if you want to create a file on the Windows, this is how it works. You use the type no, then you put this greater than sign. It is important to include this greater than sign, else it will not work. Then you write out the file name and the file extension. However, on the bash, you use the touch command, you write the file name and the file extension. Okay, so let me show you how this works in practical. So on the CMD, we created a folder called technical writing. So let me just change into that folder. I know we're not getting to that place, but at the course of the lecture, I will show you how to change directly into that folder. But this is it, like I said, use CD, which is change directly to the technical folder, which is the folder we created, technical writing. Now we are inside the technical writing folder. So to create a new file, this is the CMD command. Like I said, the CMD command, which is this, is different from the bash command, which is this. So using this one, now, let's create a file called index.html inside this technical writing folder. So we do this by using type no. You include the greater sign. It's important you add the greater than sign. If you don't add this greater than sign, this is not going to work. So index.html and you hit enter. Confirm if file has been created. Like I said, use the da to use all the file inside. And now we have a new file, index.html. So this is how to create a file using the git bash. Anybody having problem with my screen mirroring? Can you guys see my screen? Somebody's complaining that the mirroring has stopped.
I can't see it now.
How about others? Who else is having problems? Who else is having challenge? I can. Somebody can. Okay. Most of the time, I guess it's network problem from your end. So please just check your network. Just if you have any problem, use the chat, please. But I guess it's working for others. So check your network. It could be network problem. All right. So let's continue. So this is how you create file using the git bash, using the cmd command. So you use the type not greater than the file name the file extension. Like I said again, it's important you include this greater than sign. This is very important, else it will not work. However, on the git bash, it's a bit simpler. So let's move into the folder that we created and see how we can create a file inside that folder. So we'll change directory using the cd, change directory to 1. The folder name is 1 and hit enter. So we are currently inside the 1 folder that we created. So to make a new file inside the 1 folder, now we can use the touch command, touch index.html. Enter. So to confirm if this file has been created, use the ls. So now we have just one file inside this folder, which is the index.html that we created. Again, like I said, you can use the arrow up to bring out the previous commands. Like these are the commands I have written before. With the arrow up, you can bring out the previous command, and the arrow down will give you the ones the next ones. Okay, so take note of this. Arrow up and arrow down will help you to navigate your previous command. Assuming you don't want to type the code again, or maybe you're lazy like me. Sometimes you can just choose to use the arrow up or arrow down to give you the previous commands that you're taking. All right. So this is how you create files using the git bash and the cmd. Okay, so let's go through to the navigation, how to navigate through files and folders using the command line. So basically, the way you navigate files and folder on this command line is the same with the way you navigate through files and folder on the Linux and on the Mac. Okay, so the only thing you need to do is to use the cd. So currently we are inside the technical writing folder. So to go back to the previous folder, which is the desktop, I think currently we are inside here. So to go back into this desktop, you use cd space dot this double dot. That's it here. cd double dot. This will take you back to the previous folder. However, to navigate into a folder, cd, the folder name, will take you into the folder. But to go back to the previous folder, cd double dot will take you back to the previous folder. Okay, so let's see how this works in practical. So we are currently inside the technical writing folder. So using the cd dot dot should take us back to this desktop folder. So let's confirm it and see how it works. Enter. So now we are back to this cd, this desktop. So to confirm, we use the lister. So you have all the files inside here. This is all the files here. So basically, like I said, to change directory, use the cd and the folder name. So let's move from this desktop folder to inside this personal folder. So we can just see how it works. So use cd folder name, which is personal. You hit enter. This will take you into the personal folder. So we are currently inside the personal folder now. To confirm that we entered the personal folder, we can use it there to list all the files inside here and see the difference. So you can see these are different folders inside this place. So again, to go back, use the cd dot dot to go back. This is basically the same with the bash and with the command line prompts. So let's try it out here. So let's see the intro project using the bash project and projects rather. Okay. Oh, sorry, I said the one folder. So I have to go back to the previous folder, to the desktop, to be able to move back to change directory. Okay, now we are back to the desktop folder. So let's see the into projects. So we can see projects. So now we're into the projects folder. To go back, you see the dot dot. So it's basically the same way. The same way to go back or to change directory from with the command line is basically the same way with the git bash. Okay. Someone else is complaining that they can't see my screen. Should I reshare the screen again? Can I stop recording and start all over again? Will that help?
Yeah, just to share.
I should reshare. All right, 1 minute. All right. Can you see the ones guys complaining? Please confirm if you can see my screen. Please use the chat box to confirm if you can see my screen so we can proceed. All right, let's proceed. Okay, so let's talk about how to clear screen. So most times you might be writing several commands and the screen might be clustered and you might want to clear the screen just like this. We've written a few commands and it seems like there are a lot here. So let's once the screen get clustered, you might want to clear the screen so you can start all over again. So to clear the screen on the Windows, you use CLS to clear screen. Currently, you can see that the screen now is clustered, but once I hit enter, now everything is going to clear off. Okay, so let's just see how this works. With the CLS, this helps you to clear the screen. So you can see everything is clear. However, on the bash, you use clear. You have to spell out clear complete. CLS does not work on the bash, so you use clear. And this will clear the screen entirely. Okay. So like I said, if you have any question, please use the comment box so that I can help you. Any question, use the comment box. If you're confused, you can just use the comment box. Any confusion, anybody confused, just use the comment box so we can just help you out. Or should I continue? Should I continue? I just hope you guys are hearing me, so nobody's responding. Okay, so let's go into. Oh, thank you, Messi. All right, so let's go into the renaming files and folder. Okay, so basically, most times you might make mistake while naming a file and a folder. So using the command line, you can also be able to change the name of the file or the name of the folder. So on Windows, you use rename the file. This is how you do it on Windows. You use rename, the name of the file, and the name of the new file you want to change. So if you want to change a folder, you use rename, the name of the folder, and the new name of the folder you want to use. While on the bash, you use MV, the folder, and the name of the folder you want to rename. Okay. While for the file, you use MV, the file name, and the name of the file you want to rename. So let's go to the command line and check this out. So currently on the desktop, let's put the files on the desktop and see what we're going to rename. So let's see DRO. Let's change the technical writing to something else. So use the rename technical writing. Technical writing. So let's change it to TW. Rename technical writing to TW and hit enter. So to confirm if this has worked, let's use the DAR to see. If you use the DAR now, you find out that we no longer have the technical writing. Instead, we have the TW here. So technical writing now is no longer here. So let's cd into the technical writing and see how we can change the name of the file inside to something else. So cd into tw. Then let's list all the file inside this folder. We have index.html. So let's see how we can change this one now to home.html and see how this works. So changing file is basically the same thing with changing folder. You just type out the name of the file you want to change and the new name of the file you want to change. All right, so let's try that. This is your name. Rename. Now the file is index.html. HTML. So I would like to rename this to home.html. So let's hit enter. So there was no error. So to confirm it, you use the da and to list the file, and now you see that we have home.html. So no more index.html. All right, so that is it for the command line. And let's see how it works using the git bash. So on the git bash now, like I said, use the mv. So let's rename, let's see all the files on the desktop. So this is the folder we're working with on the bash, which is the one. So let's rename it now to something else. So to rename it, use the mv, the name of the file, which is one, to a new name. So what kind of name should I use now? Okay, let's just technical. So mv, the name of the folder you want to rename, and the name of the new folder you want to change it to. So let's say mv1 to technical and hit enter. So there was no error. Let's confirm if this has worked with ls. So you see we have technical here. We no longer have one. So this why this folder has been renamed from one to technical. So we have a file inside this technical. Let's see how we can rename the file to something else. So you see the change directory with the cd into the technical that we just created. Okay, let me just show you a simple shortcut. You can use the arrow up to bring back the technical. Then you can use the back arrow. You can delete the stuffs with delete and use cd. So if you don't want to type out everything, so this is how you can just go back using the arrow up. If you don't want to type out everything by yourself, then you hit enter. This will take you into the technical folder. So to confirm we are inside there, we list all the files inside. We have index.html. So let's change this index.html to home.html again. So on the bash, use the mv home.index file name first, index.html, and the name of the new file, let's say home.html. Then you hit enter. So there was no error. To confirm if this has worked, we use the ls, and you see that we now have home.html and no index.html. All right. So that's it for renaming files and folder. Hope you guys are following. I hope you're following. All right, let's move over to copying files. Okay, and moving files. So on the Windows, you use scopy, file type, and the folder you want to copy the file to. While on the bash, you use cp, the file type, and the name of the folder you want to copy the file to. All right, let's use the command line and let's work on something. So inside this TW that we renamed from technical writing to TW, we are going to create a new folder inside, and then we are going to move the home.html into the new folder that we copied, that we just created. Okay, so to do that, like I said, to create a new folder, use the mkdir arrow, that is make directory. Let's say, let's call it file, make directory file. Then let's change the directory to the file. This is the file we created. Let's confirm if the file is empty. File is empty. You have 0 bytes here and 0 bytes here. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's go back to the previous folder. We're going to copy. Let's see the files here. We have home.html. So we're going to copy this home.html into this file.html folder that we just created, into this folder that we just created. So on Windows, use the X copy. The file name is home.html and the folder is file. You hit enter. You get the feedback immediately. You have one file copied. To confirm it, you see into the file and you list the files inside with the list there, and you have one file, home.html. So this file is copied. That means if you go back to the previous folder, you're still going to see it that. So this is it, home.html. So let's see how files can be copied using the bash. So inside the bash, we're inside this folder called technical. Well, I'm going to create another folder inside here. Then I'll move the file. I'll copy the this home.html from the technical into the new file. So to do that, just create a new file using the mkdir. Let's just name it file again for simplicity's sake. You hit enter. So to confirm it, ls. So now we have a new folder file and we have the home.html. So I want to copy this home.html into this file. So use the cp, the file type that is home.html, and the name of the folder is file. Then you hit enter. So this is how it works. So basically, copying file with the command line is basically the same with the git bash. The only difference is the command. On Windows, you use scopy, while on the bash, you use cp. So that's just the difference. All right, so that is that. Okay, so before talking about moving files, I want to first of all talk about deleting files. The reason why I want to talk about deleting files is because now we have this one.html inside the tw folder. Likewise, we'll have it inside the file folder directly. So we have it inside the folder. So this file is duplicated. So let's see it into the file folder and see how we can delete this one. Let's delete this one inside the file folder. Okay, then we'll come back to moving file. Then I'll show you how to move the files from the tw to the file folder. Yeah, we don't need to copy, just move it automatically. Okay, so let's proceed. Let's go with the deleting. So deleting file now on the bash, you use rm, the file and the extension. This will delete the file. To delete a folder, you use rm, you add the arrow flag and the folder name. It's important to add the arrow flag, else you will not be able to delete the folder. This is on the bash. However, on the Windows, to delete a file, you use the file name and the file extension. And to delete a folder, you use rm then the folder name. This is how you delete a file and a folder. Okay, so let's take this. Let's see how this is built on the practical. So using the Windows first, let's check where we are first. We're inside the file system, inside the file folder. So let's go back to the previous folder. This is the tw. Okay, let me just use the file. Let me delete the home. This home.html inside here. So on the Windows, you use the del, the name of the file, which is home.html, and you hit enter. There is no error returned. So if I confirm, let's confirm this has been deleted with the list directory, and you click and you see that we have 0 files here. That is that the file has been deleted. Okay, so this is how you delete file. And let's delete this folder. Let's go back to the tw and let's list all the files inside. Right, so we have this file folder and we have this home.html. So let's delete file. Can you hear me? Are you with me? Okay, so let's see how we can delete a folder from here. So to delete the folder, use the rm, the directory, and the name of the folder. And the folder name is file. So you hit enter. So there was no error returned. To confirm if this file has been deleted, use the directory. So now we have one file which is home, and the folder file has been deleted. Okay, so let's see how this is done using the bash. So on the bash, where are we currently? We're inside the technical. So let's see everything inside the technical. We have the file and the home. So let's see into the file. Let's see what's inside the file. Have the home. So let's delete the file. To delete the file, use the rm, the name of the file, which is home.html, and you hit enter. There was no error returned. To confirm it, we hit S to see all the files inside, and this folder is empty. Okay, this is how you delete files. So let's delete the folder itself. Let's delete back to the previous folder and list all the files inside. So now we have home and we have files. So let's delete this file folder. To do this, use the rm, you add the arrow flag. It is important you add the arrow flag, then the name of the folder, which is file, and you hit enter. So to confirm it, the ls, you see that we have only home.html. So the folder has been deleted. All right, so let's go into copying files. How to copy files using the command line. On Windows, use the move, then the file type into the file folder you want to move the file to. All right, on the bash, use the mv, the file type into the folder you want to move it to. To confirm this, I will start with the command line, and first of all, I will create the file folder again that I deleted. Then we will move the home into the file folder, okay, so that you understand how this is being done. To do that, you use the make that again, and we create the file. So this is file. Let's confirm if the file has been created. Okay, now we have the file and we have the home. So I'm going to move this home into the file. So currently we have file and home here. So, but if I move this into this file folder, that is, I am expected to have only file and there will be no more home here. So to confirm this, use the move. The file type is home.html and the folder is file. So you click enter, one file moved. To confirm it, you hit the da, and now we have only file and there is no home here anymore. To see it, we see it into the files. Then we list the files inside. So we have the home now inside. This is how to move file with the command line. However, on the bash, to move files, I still have to create, I'll create the file that I deleted. Let's say they make that, let me just create the file folder so we can move the files. So we can move this home into this file folder. So on the bash, you use the mv, the file type is home.html, and the folder is file. So you hit enter. So there was no error return. To confirm it, you list fs to list all the file inside. Now you have only files. That means the home has been moved. To confirm it, you cd into the file, the ls. So we now have the home.html here. So this is how to move files within the file system. All right. So let me now show you how to rename file that folder. I believe you guys are following me, Sha. You're able to hear me. So let me show you how to move files, how to rename files and folder. So on the window, you use ren, the old file name, and the new file name. This is how to rename file. So similarly, that's how you rename folder. You use ren, the old file name, the old folder name, and the new folder name. On the bash, you use mv, old file name, and new file name. Okay, so let's try this in practical on the bash. So we're currently in the file folder. Let's go back to the previous folder. Then let's list all the file inside. So we'll have the files. So let's change the name of the file to something else. So we use ren file. Let's change it to something like file 2. And let's see. There was no error returns. So let's confirm it with that. And now we have file 2. File 1 is no longer here. Folder name has been renamed. So let's see into the file 2. Okay, you can see if you type file 1 now, you have the system cannot find the part. So that file is no longer a valid part. Like I said, you can use the arrow key, the arrow up, go back to the previous line. So let's just add 2 and hit enter. So we're inside the file 2. Let's confirm all the files inside here. We still have the home here. So let me rename the next home back to index.html. So use the ren. The name of the file is home.html. So it can be converted back to index.html. So confirm it, we use that. So this is back to index. So I think this is basically all you need to know. This is the basics of command line interface. And as a beginner, I think this is all you need to know. As you keep going on, then you keep learning more of the advanced commands, which is outside the scope of this class. But for a more practical guide, I will clone a folder on GitHub and show you a real life experience of how you can navigate through files and folders. That basically, assuming you are not the one that created it, assuming you clone the file from GitHub, I'll show you how to navigate through there. So for that, we'll just look for one folder here and clone it and work with it. All right, so let's just use this folder for instance. Let me see, because I think I think this repo has multiple. Okay, it has multiple folders inside. I think these are about 3 folders, and these are some files. So I think this will be a good one for this example. Okay. All right, so to clone the file, you just clone this, you copy the link. I don't know, GitHub. This is not actually the scope of this. This is outside the scope of this class. I am not here to work with GitHub. I just want to show you how to navigate through files and folder, assuming you're not the one that created it. Okay. So we're back to the desktop. So let's clone this folder, git clone. I would like to use the git bash for this tutorial, for this this class, for this example. Okay, so let's go back to the desktop cd dot dot. This will take you back. We're in the technical cd dot dot. Okay, this is git. This is desktop. So just git clone the folder. This is the folder. All right. The folder has been cloned. So let's confirm if the folder has been cloned to the desktop with the list with the ls files, list of files. So this is the folder we just cloned from GitHub. So election smart contract we just cloned from GitHub. So to confirm it, let's see all the files. Let's see into this folder, and let's look through them and see the files that are inside the folder and see how we can work with it. Okay, so the name of the file is election smart contract. So to move into the folder, you see the election smart contract. Hit enter. So now we are inside the folder. So to check all the files inside this folder, since we are not the one that created the folder, basically it's still, like I said, to list all the files in the folder. Since you're not the one that created the folder, you might not know all the files that are in the folder. So to list all the files in the folder, use the ls, enter. So this folder has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It has 7 files inside. Inside the 7 files, you have the 3 folder. So basically, why I like using the git bash is because some of the folders are highlighted with a different color, while the files are highlighted in a different color. So basically, when looking at this output now, you know that the contract is a folder, the script is a folder, and the task is a folder, which can be confirmed here on GitHub. This is a folder, this is a folder, and this is a folder, while the rest are files. Okay, so that is it. So to change directory, you can use the cd contract. Now we're inside the contract folder. To list all the files inside, use the ls. We have only one file inside. To confirm it, you can see it into this, open this folder and see. So we have just one file inside here. So which means we are right. This is right. So we can go back using the cd dot dot, taking us back to the master branch. Okay, so this is how to actually navigate through this folder. So assuming you want to, so working with the basic command line interface. So assuming you want to delete a file inside here, like I said, you can use this GitHub repo for reference sake. So assuming you want to delete a file inside here using the git command. Let's say we have the ls. Let's say we want to delete this package.json file inside here. So to do that, since this is a file, you can use the del. Assuming we are deleting something like the task, the script, or the contract, we use this command rm, the dar, and the folder name. So since you are deleting a file, you use the del, the file name, and the file extension. So let's see how this works. Del package.json. Enter. So I still want to point out something. Okay. Sorry, this is on this in use package.json. Right, the del is for Windows. Use so makes some kind of simple and silly mistakes most time when you're programming. It's a normal thing. So just click the rm package.json. So the file is deleted because there's no error return. To confirm it, use the LX. So there's no longer package.json. What you have now is package lock.json. This is a different folder. Sorry, it's a different file. Okay, so I think this is basically all you need to know. As this is it. I think this is enough for command line as a beginner. So I don't know if you have any question or anything that is confusing you, you can feel free and ask. But I think within the scope of this class, this is okay. And if you have any question, I think I am open to take your questions. I think the class has been quite long, so let's just stop here for you. Any
All right,
questions?
thank you so much for that wonderful session. So guys, any question, any command line for those that are new, for those that have been working with command line for long, if you have any question, so you can come out and ask now. So just raise your hand and I will call you out. Go on your question. So you have one question.
Basically, if once a file is deleted, I think it's deleted, there's no way to return the file back. But the easiest to return file back once it's deleted is to use the you can go back to your recycle bin and restore the file. There is no command. I think I've not seen a command, or let me just say there's no command. I'm not aware of any command that can return a deleted file back. Okay, but I think there is one thing I did not point out. You can basically join two commands together. I don't think I said anything about that. Like, let me just show you what I mean by that. It just escaped my mind. But let me just show you what that means. You can join two commands together. In case for those that want to ask that question, let me just clear you first. If he has that question in mind, let me just clear it first before asking. So let's say, for instance, you created a folder. You can join two commands together. Like, you can create a folder and see it into the folder at the same time. Something like this. You can create a new file, the name of the file is, let's say, file, and you can join two commands using the double ampersand and cd into the file. So this command will basically create the file and log you in and change it directly into the file at once instead of doing them separately. So you can see we're into the file folder now. This is the folder. To confirm it now, use the LX, and you find out that there is nothing inside the file because the file is just created. Okay. So I think that's that. Any other question, please just go ahead. Let me see. Any other question? I think somebody's raising his hand.
All right, Chinedu, you can go ahead with your question.
Okay, thanks for the class. My question is there a way to open a particular file with a particular app from the command line?
To open a particular
I don't know
file.
if with a particular application from the command line.
Yes, there is a way to open. There is. Like, assuming you want to open like something like Chrome from the command line. Am I getting your question correct?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, there is a way to open it, but like I said, that's more advanced because basically all these things are configured from your machine. Okay, I don't know if you've been watching some of the tutorials. You see where somebody opens folder direct from command line. Those parts have been added to the environmental variables that will enable you to open application directly from the command line. But like I said, that's outside the scope of this class because it's way more advanced. But it is possible to open application from the command line.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Victoria, yes. Any command, if you're working with the file locally, any changes you make will affect it locally. But if you want it to affect it online, if it's on GitHub, definitely you have to make a pull request. Like, you have to push the command back to the remote server, then make a pull request and update it automatically. So if you're working from the local machine and you make any changes on the local machine, it remains on the local machine. So if you want the change to reflect on the remote server, then you have to push the code to the remote server. and then if it's on GitHub, you have to make pull request and you merge. That is how it reflects. But it's not possible for you to work on your local machine and the effect reflects on your remote server. It's not possible. You have to basically push the code to the remote server for it to work. I think that answers your question, Victoria. You're welcome. Any other question?
So guys, do we have any other question? Okay, so thank you. But hang on, guys. I want us to talk about our assignment day. So thank you so much, Eze, for joining us and also teaching us how to work with command line, because it's very, very important that the technical writer, you need to learn how to do that. And I will also say again, like in my company, I've worked with them for over a year. I work mostly with command line more than probably every other tool or every other probably thing tool I could use. I don't even write codes. I don't even read most of their code. I just work more on the command line. So imagine I don't know how to work a command line. That would have been a problem. So it's important you need to learn this. All right. Thank you so much, Eze, for joining us today and taking your time out to come and teach us. So God bless you. So guys, let's give us appreciate.
Thank you very much.
This. And hang on, let's talk about our assignment.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So give me a few minutes. Let me stop the recording.